Ohana is the game. We can go ahead and jump in now, and we'll see that Game 3 is underway. These are, of course, replays. These guys played earlier today.
Yeah, we didn't want to force Braddock to play at like 4 a.m. in Russia. That would have been a little bit rude.
We only do that to Night End.
Oh, right. Night End is in Korea right now, man.
Oh, you're right. So it's like morning for him.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Night End versus TT1 will be a live game. The rest of our games today are replay casts. Night End TT1 is actually coming up next. A little PvP action.
I'm loving that, man. Even though I've had quite a bit of PvP lately, certainly Naniwa vs Genius, but I enjoyed those games so much. If you haven't checked the VODs out yet from my last Sunday showdown between Naniwa and Genius, you should really check them out. Because despite the score might look a little bit one-sided, the games were not one-sided at all, and it really had some awesome moves. Certainly on Ohana, sick as forces by Naniwa over here, trapping an entire army from Genius on this ramp was so cool.
Very exciting, fantastic games. Those are over at youtube.com. Are they up on our YouTube? youtube.com/NAStarLeague.
I think they're only for subscribers.
Only for subscribers. So you're going to need that HT pass. You can get that at NASL.tv.
Yeah, but those games were really worth checking out. And I don't say that because, well, of course I do love PvP, but I would have even loved them then if I played Zerg or Terran. I'm sure of that, because I think those were fantastic Miro games.
As a Zerg player, I can say that it was some of the best PvP I've seen. Genius really played exceptionally well.
He played like a genius.
He just he always seemed to have the thing that Naniwa didn't want him to have. That's something you kind of talk about a lot in PvP. You like play a build and there's like maybe one thing you don't want to face. It seemed like Naniwa was always running into that.
That's true, man. Braddock is, of course, our Russian Terran, spawning on the right bottom side of Ohana, our favorite map of NASL Season 3 so far. And he's going to play against Gosu's HwangSin on the left top side of this map. You know, Ben, I've really enjoyed this season so much so far. But I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the other maps, because I love watching these guys. But I feel that some of the guys are just not too happy with a few maps, so we see the same maps very often, over and over again. Everybody seems to be happy with Ohana though, which is of course a good thing. But I don't think it would hurt to put in, let's say, the Ohana spin-off. Just spin it around, like 90 degrees. Or maybe like 45.
You know Ohana's a community-made map, right?
That's an awesome map.
Made by Iron Man SC, I think is his screen name.
And Blizzard was very impressed.
Yeah, and rightfully so. It's proven to be just an excellent, exceptional map. I've really enjoyed every game we've casted on. I don't think I've ever been bored by a game on Ohana.
You know,
the one time I was playing on Ohana and I got proxy 2 racks and it made me so mad.
You know, I actually think it's super cool that if you create a map and then before you know it, you see people like using it in pro leagues, and you see pro players like, yeah, that's a pretty good map, and you think like, wow, this is pretty cool, man, like the pros like my map. But then it's even better when Blizzard takes on your map and puts it in a ladder map pool, and like everybody in the whole world is gonna play on your map. How cool is that? That must be so satisfying.
Yeah, it's gotta be one of the best feelings ever. Like, that guy's gotta be so proud of his map.
Yeah, and he should be, because he made an awesome map.
I wish Blizzard would do more of that. They'd be like, it's really cool, but this is like the only time it's ever happened.
Yeah, I would love to see Crevasse in the ladder map pool.
Dude. Give up on Crevasse already.
Never, man. Crevasse is coming back. It will make a comeback eventually.
Have you ever even played a game on Crevasse?
Yeah, I played a lot. I played against you on Crevasse, and I enjoyed it. You don't remember it?
It sounds like something I would choose to forget.
Command Center is ready for Braddock, so his expand is going to be a little bit quicker than HwangSin. Of course, Braddock went for the no gas fast expand build here on Ohana, and HwangSin is going for the standard 1 gate gas expand. HwangSin tried to poke in, hoped that Braddock didn't have a bunker yet, but Braddock is safe. Of course, that's what as Terran should always be, because you never know what kind of variant of opening you are going to see from your Pro Tools player, so it makes sense to just get that bunker ASAP. I really hate it when Terrans try to skip on that, because it's just asking for trouble, and it's also asking for bad one-sided games, because then if Stalkers keep pouring on pressure on the Terran, they're never going to be able to get a bunker up, and it could already be end of the game. So don't be greedy, all you Terran players.
Moral of the story. Same double gas follow-up for Braddock. As we can see, it looks like the players had a short pause in the game. Stim starting up. This time HwangSin has Robo going down, so it will not be the fast blink like we saw on Shakur's Plateau. Changing it up. I guess playing a little bit more standard. 1 gate expand into Robo. 3 gate Robo.
Yeah, and then adding those additional gates. Or actually you got the gates before the Robo. So this is the safer variant, but yeah, everything makes sense so far. And I wonder how HwangSin is going to take this ban, since you described him as a 2-base player, but he wasn't really able to display it yet, because the second game he was just basically dying on the pressure. He did try to go up to 3 bases. Stalker almost dies. But now Braddock did reveal that Marauder already, but That's of course not a huge surprise, but sometimes you see Terrans sticking with the Marines just a little bit longer and really using all their gas to get medevacts out as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's not what Braddock has chosen to do here. Just now finishing up that factory, he'll be getting the starport down just after that. HwangSin goes ahead and drops the double forward, so he's going to want to be getting those upgrades out.
So I think he's going to play a super economic game.
Yeah.
He's getting both assimilators as well in his natural. His first observer, that's right? Yeah, his first observer is almost out right now. I'm wondering if he's going to open double observer or if he's going to get an immortal right now, because he saw one of those marauders, so maybe he's a little bit worried and he rather gets an immortal.
And Braddock will be getting those medevacs. Starts the reactor on the factory. Just wants to have that standard Terran mid game that we're so familiar with. He'll probably try to drop or at least pressure with the first 2 medevacs.
Yep, engineering bay is up as well for Braddock. Where is the engineering bay, Ben? Am I blind? Oh, there we go. It's always behind the refinery and I never spotted it
chilling out back there.
+1 is more than halfway done, so it seems like Braddock is once more going to try to do something with his first 2 medevacs. And well, Stim, and I guess he's going to follow up with combat shield straight away after this. He lost his tech lab with combat shield on Shakuras,
yeah.
but yeah, it didn't bother him too much since he did still have a way better army.
It's also a pretty fast upgrade, so if you're going to lose an upgrade, combat shields is the one to have picked off. 110 seconds versus the much longer, I think it's 180 second stim upgrade.
170.
170.
Twilight console being wiped in for HwangSin. HwangSin has really weird like openings regards to like Twilight and then into Colossus, or Colossus into like he's doing everything the other way around, or at least from what I'm used to it. But maybe he's just gonna completely skip the Colossus for this game and he's gonna get really quick +2 and he's gonna try to get charge. We'll see.
Yep, he's been mixing up his play a little bit more than Braddock has, as this is basically an identical opening, basically mirroring what we saw on Shakur's plateau. So Braddock says, hey, it worked once, let's do it again.
For the people who just tune in, HwangSin is 2-4 in our season, has 2 wins, 4 losses, and Braddock, unfortunately for him, is 0-6. But if Braddock wins today, he's still going to pick up $150. So it's going to be nice for him. Then at least all of his efforts in the NASL so far were not useless.
Braddock is just poking her out right now with those medevacs. HwangSin has...
It's a pretty scary timing, but HwangSin is going to need to drop good force fields, and that's what he does.
Expertly placed observer allows him to see all the movement of Braddock's army. I'm a little surprised that Braddock doesn't try to scan over his army, as is so common amongst Terran players. Going to use the map control that he's gained by this little poke to take a 3rd base.
Yep, so very similar to what we saw on the previous maps. HwangSin has a few pros more than Braddock. He's once more going to get those additional gates, but no Robo Bay. He's just going to get Blink. He has quite a few Stalkers already in his main base. And this is always the phase of the game where you'll see inexperienced Protoss players being afraid and think they need all their units up to that ramp. And then Terran is going to try to drop over here or just fly in 1 medevac, drag you out of position, and then stim in to try to pick up your Nexus. So this all looks so easy, but it's really not all that easy. But HwangSin handled the situation well, and he took absolutely 0 damage from this potential pressure from Braddock.
Braddock with a good scan right on top of the extra gateways is going to give him a good feel for what HwangSin is up to. Although he doesn't know about the double forge, he should probably have pieced it together by now. Now we're going to have a 2-2 Protoss here shortly with Blink, and I'm sure Charge will follow. Yeah, Charge actually starting immediately after Blink finishes.
Yeah, and he's going to get Colossus as well, Ben. So we might see 2 base action from HwangSin. Like 2 base with 2-2 upgrades. That has to be really scary for Braddock.
Yeah, it would be tough, as Braddock hasn't made any Vikings yet, and he's already getting his Ghost Academy, maybe misreading the situation a little bit. If HwangSin were to push with 2-3 Colossi and with no Vikings out, that would be really bad.
HwangSin, I mean, Braddock did scout the robotics bay, Ben, so he knows it's there, but maybe he didn't click on it while he's producing Vikings now, actually. So might still be in time. HwangSin, did he scout this? No, he didn't actually scout this 3rd base yet from Braddock. Seems like he doesn't mind too much.
Yeah, almost identical to how Shakur's played out thus far. Braddock still just controlling the center of the map, while HwangSin just continues to try to keep an eye out, make sure he doesn't lose anything unnecessarily as he continues to build up.
2-2 is almost ready. I would be surprised, Ben, if HwangSin is going to try to expand right now. He does have 400 minerals, but doesn't have a probe in position. And with all the gates that he has a lot of gates. With the upgrades, with the Colossus, I really think he's just going to go for it. Maybe the moment he moves out, he is going to try to expand after all. But I still think he has to make something. He's going to have to make something happen. He has so many zealots as well.
2-2 Charge, Colossi, Blink. Not that many Stalkers. Only 8 Stalkers. 19 Zealots. Couple of Mortals.
He is going to expand once more. HwangSin plays this so safe. Reminds me a little bit of how Knighton likes to play. Just getting everything on 2 base and then expand once more. and then just rely on your army control.
Yeah. But I don't feel like there's a whole lot that Braddock could do to really take advantage of this. I mean, if you were to overexpand, HwangSin still has a huge, terrifying army that could come and crush it.
No, but I think he's already taking advantage of it, Ben. Braddock is up right now. Army supplies are about even, but Braddock has a few more workers than HwangSin, which is weird. Braddock is already mining from 3 bases. He's getting Vikings, he's getting Ghost. His upgrades, of course, are going to be a little bit later, but there's really not all that much he can do about this. But I still feel A, he's going to be able to max out before HwangSin, and B, he's going to be able to both get a lot of Ghosts and a lot of Vikings, and that's normally the problem for Terran, that you can't really afford that against the Protoss who had even or even better economy than you had.
Braddock is out on the map once again, just making sure to deny control of these towers. And he's going to do just that. Zealot getting picked off. HwangSin going ahead and posturing his army outside of that 3rd base, wants to make sure that it goes up.
Yeah, HwangSin has so many Zealots. This is very scary. Certainly on a map like this on Ohana, which really has a lot of open space over here. So if they would fight there anyway, those Zealots are just able to swarm the Terran army. And Braddock's going to have to micro really, really well. 2-2 is not ready yet for Braddock.
Oh, but HwangSin wants to take a fight, blinking and charging in with all of his Zealots. And HwangSin actually decides that he wants to disengage from that. Can't really fight it. 185 supply for Braddock against the 180 of HwangSin.
A little bit disappointed by small things over here from HwangSin's play, Ben. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff right, but the moment that you know that this 3rd base is going to be up and running, you want to take both assimilators already, because right now all that he really needs is gas. You want to be able to drop the Twilight Cons, so you definitely want to be able to get some Archons. And right now it just costs another 30 seconds, but by the time it's, he really started that, it's basically 60 seconds delay of when he could have had those assimilators and when he's actually going to have them. And that's a really big difference, because that could be the difference between a couple of High Templars, and we all know what 1 or 2 storms can do to the outcome of a fight.
Great job by Braddock keeping his army in a position to deny these harassing Zealots, but HwangSin still kind of dominating the middle of the map, inching forward as he secures this 3rd base and begins to finally mine there.
He's going to have 3 upgrades as well. It's going to be a really sick Protoss army. I mean, HwangSin plays a super safe Protoss style, which reminds me a little bit of the old Hazuops. I think Hazuops right now, and like these days, plays a more advanced style of this, and definitely tries to play a bit more greedy. But this is super old style. You just get a lot of Colossus, you get a very strong army, and they just sit back and you let the Terran player outmine you, but you'll be okay with it, because as long as you can get the army that you really want and all the upgrades and the infrastructure in the most safe way possible, you're okay with that, and that seems to be the case.
Yeah, and he's managed to muster a very scary force, Kev. He's at 3-3 already. Braddock's 3-3 is still quite a long ways off. Getting the weapons attack upgrade for his Vikings and the cloaking for his Ghosts. But
not the most action-packed game so far, man.
Yeah, not the most action-packed series. It's just like, all right, chill out.
I think first game was awesome.
First game was incredible, but it still had this big lull in the mid game where both guys were like, okay,
let's not fight.
No rush 20.
Mutual agreement, Ben. If only we would all do that, Starcraft II would be a very friendly place. We see right now everything is going down for Braddock, as you pointed out, Ben. That also important personal cloaking. I think he has +1 already for the Vikings. Man, +1 is pretty quick on the Vikings. +2 takes quite a while. A couple of Marines here are going to be able to stim in, Ben, and HwangSin can only wipe in 1 Zealot. This can actually hurt. Come on, stim, Braddock.
He's trying to find that perfect position. Guardian Shield goes down, and HwangSin's going to have an okay angle to engage from Colossi immediately.
Wow, beautiful EMP. Like right in the middle of the army. Look at that. What a massive EMP.
They got tons of shield. And actually, HwangSin's going to go ahead and back up, perhaps because of that. Doesn't want to
I think without Storm, Ben, HwangSin is going to need a perfect engagement to actually be able to win this. I think he lost his only observer there.
He did back up, and now he's got that big offensive blink. The Zealots charging in, soaking up a ton of damage, but they die pretty quickly. The Colossi not standing up to these Vikings at all, and Braddock's looking pretty good on the ground, Kev.
Braddock is looking very good right now. He's going to stim in once more. We still have quite a few gateway units, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The moment these Zealots die, these Stalkers are just going to be useless. A lot of stims over there from Braddock, but he has the Medivacs to back it off. Storm is still not ready, and I think the Protoss is in a lot of trouble.
Great control by Braddock. He's going to charge forward. HwangSin trying to get some Archons out, but I don't know if they're going to be allowed to finish. Look how fast these Stalkers die to this bio. This might be it. I think it actually is HwangSin up against the ropes. The Archon's finishing, but there's just too much damage output in this Terran army.
Yeah, and the Archons were in a horrible position there as well. And Ben, look at the production tab, look at the timing of Storm. And what did I say regarding those simulators? If you would have only had everything a little bit quicker, if you would have right now, instead of those 5 Archons who didn't deal a single bit of damage, a couple of Storms to fall back on, I think it would have been a different outcome.
Maybe he holds here, maybe he's able to make it later into the game, and maybe he's able to turn this into a win. But as it stands, Braddock just going to crush HwangSin in this in-game engagement. GG, Braddock takes it 2-1, his first win this season in the North American Star League. That's $150 for the Russian.
Yeah, that means that HwangSin right now has 2 wins and 5 losses in the season. And as you said, man, Braddock picks up his first win. So congratulations to our Russian Terran player. I think that's nice, man. He's good enough to... maybe that's a good sign for Jinro as well. Because, I mean, both of them are awesome, excellent European Terrans. But both of them were 06. So maybe we'll see Jinro winning later this week as well.
Yeah, not sure I can only hope so. So we'll have to wait and see. Great gameplay there from both those guys. Braddock, hats off to you, sir. That last one brought to you by Kingston HyperX. The Kingston game to remember. Well,
I think Braddock played pretty damn well in that final game. There wasn't all that much he could have done to put serious pressure on HwangSin, because HwangSin, wow, my mouth is so dry because it's actually getting really warm here in the studio, so every time I'm talking about it's like, I'm stuck. But what I want to say is that when you play against the Protoss who plays that safe and like gets everything on 2 base, it's very hard to take advantage of that. And the only thing you can really do is just get everything that you want to get in yourself. You get a better economy, so you get the Ghost, you get the nice upgrades on the Vikings, and I think that's exactly what Braddock did. And I just think that HwangSin played it too safe of a Protoss style, and then like trying to attack with 200 supply but not having Storms, that's going to be very tough.
Yeah, tough hustle indeed.